Spiritual successor. Two words in the video game community, in my opinion, they were used to, I guess, relay hope. Relay hope to fans of previous forgotten franchises or ones that have just kind of been bought up by the conglomerates and just held on to for the sake of holding on to them. To me, it was a reflection of the game developers who wanted to show the fans that there are still people who care about certain genres of games and wanted to give something to the fans that the fans wanted. There are many examples. Most of the ones that I can think of are on Kickstarter. All the ones that I can think of, not many, granted, not many, but all the ones that I can think of, you know, kind of fell short. Mighty Number 9, the biggest example, and Mega Man is very close to my heart. Here's one that I just got in today, as a matter of fact. I have another video planned, really cool, I hope you like it, but I took the time to stop and do this because I wanted to do an unboxing on this. We're gonna stop the slow speech. I'll just go right into it. I was gonna do an unboxing of this. This is NightCry, Project Scissors NightCry. This is supposed to be the spiritual successor to Clock Tower, a game that I have, one of my favorite games, and just one of my favorite horror games of all time. Never liked the sequels 2 and 3. I don't like it when it goes off in a different direction. I want continuity. I've played the original one for the NES. Did play it on an emulator because it's in Japanese. Someday I will make my own emulated copy. Or I'm sorry, reproduction copy. But I'm sorry, I'm pissed again because I'll just tell you, this the reward I wanted was the signed boxed collector's edition for, and I'm ashamed to say, $205, not including shipping. So we're gonna do an unboxing of this. Not that there's much. This is all it came in. There's no box. I don't see a box. I see a DVD case, which a cheap one at that. I mean, cheap for DVD standards. But you know what? Let's go right into the unboxing. Let's unbox this thing, all right? And you know, we'll take a look at the goodies that came with it.
Baby's called to my skillet. Baby's called to my skill. Baby's called, don't you come out calling, never want to see you standing still. Now get off.
Here it is. Here's the unboxing. That's the package it came in. The reward I signed up for was a special edition with its own custom box, as it said it was going to have, with some pretty artwork on it, and signed. As you see here, the artwork is fantastic. The piece of paper in here is cheap. It's something that could easily be done off of a printer. Same thing with the DVD case. As far as DVD cases go, this one's also pretty cheap. But as you see here, it's collector's edition, and it is signed. And that is this is one of the many things that turned me on to the game, was the artwork. Now, I'm no fool. I know that the artwork that is done when they're drawing these things up, I mean, it's, you know, like any art book. It's not going to look like that in the game most of the time. But the game itself looks horrible. Calling it a PS2 quality game is being way too kind. And you know what? But I'm getting ahead of myself on that nonsense. Let's open this thing up and continue the unboxing. There is a soundtrack, which was included. And I'll be honest, I don't give two shits about soundtracks. I don't know why they're included. I don't know anybody who likes them. The only person I know that actually mentions liking them is that guy Joe from GameSack. I think both the guys like ripping soundtracks, but I do not. I think this is a very cheap and inexpensive way to put another item in there as a checklist. Like, hey, we got a collector's edition, we need 3 items. Soundtrack, boom, there's one. I'm sure it's cheap and easy to do. Here's the manual. All 5 pages of it. The paper feels actually pretty nice, in all honesty. But more importantly, here is the art book that also came with the signed collector's edition. And when I say book, I mean art manual. Because this is not a book. This is not a hardcover book like that comes with most collector's editions. This is an art manual. It's got the artwork in it, but it is definitely not an art book. And even though I already have the digital copy, because that was released a year ago, over a year ago, actually, when the physical was supposed to come out. It took over a year after the release. Like, I'll just go like this. There is the physical DVD of it. So there's my signed collector's edition Project Scissor NightCry unboxing. I was really looking forward to this because it was the first item I ever backed on Kickstarter. I remember when I first discovered Kickstarter and I thought to myself, wow, you mean there are people making games and collector's editions and I can, you know, choose what I want, and people are still bringing back those old franchises or doing the best they can? From what I understand, I believe it is Sunsoft that owns the rights to Clock Tower, and the director, I got my notes here so I don't mess up his name. Hifumi Kano, sorry. Everything's credited to him on the Kickstarter page that, you know, he worked for Human Entertainment and who made the Clock Tower series, and he was the director for the Clock Tower series. So he wanted to do something, so he teamed up, made his own, you know, Nude Maker, which is, you know, his company, his small indie company, Nude Maker, and they tied in with Playism Games, which, from what I understand, Playism, I mean, heavily joined with Playism. I mean, Playism really backed this game, which make me a little leery about them, but it's kind of like Steam. It's like the Japanese version of Steam, from what I've gathered from everything I've looked. And again, I don't research too deeply, you know, I don't care that much. If you want to, you know, go the rest of the way yourself, that's fine. But Playism Games, you know, really, you know, it's going to make me think twice, definitely, about anything from Nude Maker or anything from Playism Games. I mean, I paid $200 for this. And for me personally, my nostalgia was definitely played on, because I love Clock Tower. I do. I didn't like Clock Tower 2 or 3. They had nothing to do with the, you know, previous game. I played the Super Nintendo version on my emulator. Someday I'll make a reproduction of it so I can, you know, have an actual physical copy. But I mean, it really played on my nostalgia when I saw a successor to Clock Tower, and again, all of the artwork. I love the artwork. I know it's not going to look like that in-game, but the in-game graphics look like PS2 era game at best. And I don't even, maybe even PlayStation 1, they look fucking horrible. Horrible. I couldn't even play the game all the way through, unfortunately, either. My mouse, I don't have a run button or a wheel, a spinning wheel on my mouse. And that's the button that's used to run. I have a trackball mouse, and I love it. I hate moving a mouse around or using the pad on my laptop. So I can only play the game, and I know I played the hell out of it for what I could. I spent like probably an hour and a half exploring up to that part until I get chased. But, you know, the graphics are horrible. I mean, and it barely runs on my laptop. My laptop's pretty powerful. It's not really that old. I run Diablo and other, you know, high-resolution games on it, no problem. And I have to have things down to the lowest setting to get this thing to work. And it's just, it's not what I expected. I saw the creator of NightCry. I saw, you know, this didn't mean shit, but I guess Takashi Shimizu, the director of The Grudge. I'm going to tell you something. I love horror. If a horror movie is PG-13, it's not a fucking horror movie, okay? That's something I stand fast on. You know, The Ring, The Grudge, I don't care what anybody says, those were shitty fucking movies. I thought they were shit when they came out. Any horror movie that's PG-13 now sucks. Those can be still good movies. I think like The Conjuring. Yeah, The Conjuring, it's a good movie. I wouldn't call it horror because it's fucking PG-13, and I don't care. Argue with me all you want, you are wrong. Maybe the Japanese Grudge was good, I don't know, but the American one I thought fucking blowed. So, I'd just be leery. I mean, I think Kickstarter's a great idea, and there are people who defend it. If you go to the comment section, I definitely would not recommend buying this game, but I do recommend going to the Kickstarter page and looking at all the comments. Especially recently, for the people who have been very upset. One poor guy, you know, people have been really giving their displeasure on this boxed collector's edition of the game, but one guy looks like his got wet somewhere, like they were talking about shipping it overseas, like literally on a ship, I believe, and some of the, you know, the shipping procedures, and his is all wet and his pages stuck together. In fact, you know, here's some of the pictures right now. I'll put them up and show you what happened to his. If you can, it's kind of hard to make out, but hopefully you can get the gist. But I'll never buy, you know, a game from Nude Maker or, you know, Playism Games on their Steam website. I mean, That's what these companies are doing. Just like, you know, Mighty Number 9, where was it? Inafune with Concept. I'll never buy a Concept game. I love Mega Man, and everything he put in number 9, all the shit that people didn't like, the cheap deaths, you know, that percentage grading system, the incessant amount of dialogue, that's all the shit I hated in Mega Man, the Mega Man series. I don't fucking need to be told hit X to shoot. This is like Mega Man X7, X8, whatever the hell I'm playing. I know that if I push right on the joystick, I'm gonna go right. You don't need to tell me that. And completely throw off the gameplay. Ukulele, it's another one. It's another spiritual successor. Mixed reviews. I'm not familiar with the Banjo-Kazooie franchise. Never really played it. But, you know, all these games are getting mixed reviews. And just, you know, just got to be a little bit leery, I guess. But I'm going off. I'm starting to go everywhere. I still will search Kickstarter. I still love Kickstarter. I did get, which I think the best investment if you like NES games or Genesis games, I backed Haunted Halloween 86, and there was an option to get Haunted Halloween 85 as well, so I jumped on that boxed and instruction manuals. Someday I'll get around to playing those games and reviewing them. And also my friend, Scott Cherry, who did a fantastic podcast. They don't do it anymore, but if you want some great humor, look up Barbarian Rage Podcast, and you'll find a whole slew of their old podcasts. I don't believe they took them down. They should still be there. But he does now make action figures, and if you go to barbarianrage.com, you can see all of his wares, and he makes great stuff. But he had a Kickstarter for a vacuum package, which I guess is what's used to make action figures. And this is a custom one that he made that you got for doing the Kickstarter. And it's a chainsaw Skeletor. And as you see here, it's got a chainsaw personalized for Skeletor with his skull face on it, and a severed head of He-Man. It's pretty fucking cool. He got me into action figures again. It's just another hobby I couldn't, you know, afford to do. But I got a lot of stuff. I got this one special made Velvet, you know, Skeletor. It's, you know, 1 of 5, number 1 of 5. I mean, he makes a lot of good stuff, so I suggest you check him out. Again, they're not doing the podcast anymore, which was very funny. But you could also check out his brother Adam, who does a podcast / YouTube channel, Questionable Music. Haven't got a chance to listen to them fully, but I have heard some bits, and they are funny, and they talk about, you know, literally questionable music. You ever go to the record store, you see this weird Christian comedian album, you're like, what the fuck? That's the shit they listen to. So, either way, you know, that's my opinion on all this stuff. I guess my message is, you know, if I want a Mega Man game, I'll play, you know, a Mega Man game. I'll look for a ROM hack that some fan made. If I want a Clock Tower game, I'll see if there's any ROM hacks of that. I doubt it, but I think you see where I'm going. These spiritual successors, I appreciate what they're doing, but in the end, it's just not working out. Hopefully Bloodstained will fix that, but time will tell. That's all I got.